Hey, welcome to Tennessee Buck Outdoors. Sorry about the video being dark, but it's right before 4:30 of the morning. Now I've got the truck loaded and the boat loaded, and we're getting ready to head out to Carthage, Tennessee, to Cordell Hull Lake. My buddy Lightning has called me up a couple days ago and says, hey, we're going to be up there camping. Do you want to go run for fishing? Oh, heck yeah. Of course, right here you can see my trailer lights. Sort of proud of those. I got my boat set up for night fishing, which that's another video for later. Of course, here I am heading down my quiet little town on Main Street. Of course, it ain't that quiet. There's the vehicles that are heading toward me are actually going to work. But for the most part, I got a quiet little town. Now up here you'll see me hanging a left, but I'm going to circle back around to a little market that stays open 24 hours a day, and I'm going to pick me up a couple of sausage biscuits and head that way. Of course, right now would be a good time to say, hey, if you like my videos, subscribe. Tell your friends about me and ask them to subscribe. Leave a comment, that's always good. Hit the like button, ring the bell, do a little dance, you know, whatever you need to. And every once in a while you might hear something moving in the background while I'm recording this, and that's my labs. So if you ever want to know what that is, that's them. Like I said, now when we got there, or when I got there, it was still dark, and this right here is just a little bit later after we launched, but it was in the mid-50s. Of course, when we launched, we had a couple of technical difficulties, but we finally got it going. That is one of my labs right there. Just wanted to lay down in a different spot. But I'm gonna tell you right now, we only caught one, and Lightning caught that, and we got it to the boat, or he got it to the boat, but didn't get it in the boat. We talked to a couple of people out there, and I don't know if it was the cold front that come through a couple of days ago. Of course, it was a little bit windy. They was jumping, but they wasn't biting. We saw a lot of bait fish, and it looked like they wasn't going for them either. Now, if you look down there at my foot, there's a little camera on the boat with a yellow bobber. That is a ION camera, ION. They're HD. That's what I use. Well, that's what's filming this right here on the other side of the boat. I use those, and we'll talk more about that one here after a while. And of course, somebody's asked me about my seat. I call that my Bill Dance seat, because I'm getting up there and I like the idea of being able to sit down if I'm going to fish for a while. Now, I've got one of those seats that's pedestals. I guess they call it pedestal seat, where it stands up there and you just lean up against it when you want to fish, and if you want to lean up against it. I always keep that in the truck with me, that way in case when I get there, depending on how long I think I'm going to fish or how I feel, I can swap them out. And then if somebody in the back wants to use it, they can. But like I said, the Cordell Hull Lake is on the Cumberland River. I fished the Cumberland before, but not this spot. This is up here next to a place where they're camping. Well, actually just probably a mile down from where they're camping. And it's still cool, but the fish just ain't biting. But it was a nice day. You can see the bluebird skies. I mean, a gorgeous day, a little bit of wind, but still, you couldn't beat it. Of course, like if you've watched my video, some of the other videos when I was talking about lightning, Me and him are the same age and born on the same day. Now, how awesome is that? Of course, now you hear one of the other labs coming in here to lay down. Oh, now that right there is probably where lightning caught the fish, but didn't get it on the up in the boat. Of course, here I am trying my fast forward effect, and let me know what you think of that, because I'm thinking about using it later on in some of the other stuff, because I kind of like it. Yeah, I'm showing a lot of fishing, but no catching. Now, this is when we first arrived to where we was going to fish. Of course, Lightning's on the second seat, so he's making his cast. I think he's already made a couple of casts, and for some reason his line broke. So now he's going to have to try to, and you'll see him rolling it back in there. Of course, he saves his lure. I'm putting the camera on. Normally I do that before we leave the dock, but like I said, we run into a couple of technical difficulties, so I'm just now getting to it. And if you look back there where the American flag is and my nav light, then oh, I'm getting too old for this. You'll see it blinking every once in a while, and I didn't know it, but you'll see lightning fixing it after a while. Now, if you're the boat driver, you've got to get up and you've got to get everything ready before you can actually start fishing. Whoever's riding the second seat can jump up there real fast and start fishing. Now, if you notice that thing around my neck earlier, that's my remote for my trolling motor. I got the Minn Kota Terra. It's got where I can, while I'm still sitting in the seat, I can hit the button. It will automatically deploy. Then it's got a little anchor down there, which is spot lock. So I can hit that, and it'll stay in one spot, which I always say anchor down. Of course, Lightning's right there. It's like I said, he's fished here before. He's saying, this is where we need to start. So I'm gonna wait till he gets actually ready again before I try to make my way over there. Of course, I was telling you about my cameras. I've got a bobber tied to this one, and you'll see why here in a second. There's my lab again, trying to move it around a little bit. And there it goes. Went into the water. Now, those are waterproof down to a certain depth. And here I was watching it go overboard, and it bobbing up and down, so I grabbed the bobber and brought it back on board.
That's why I put that bobber on it.
Of course, I've never had that happen before, but that's the reason I tied the bobber on there. Of course, this time, like back over where the other camera's at, I've got a little bit of thing where I can just loop the rope to it. That way, if I'm going down the lake, I won't lose it. Of course, here I'm trying to fast forward out on Lightning. Now, Lightning only brought 2 rods and reels, which normally if I'm fishing with somebody on their boat, I usually take 3. Of course, like him, I make sure I got all the lures and stuff that I think I will need. But there he is fixing my nav light for me. I usually keep around 5 or 6 on the deck since, you know, my boat. I tie different stuff on there thinking that, okay, what I might want to use. But you also got to try to figure out the colors and stuff like that. Which, when you go with somebody and you know, they're not hitting and you've got to put different lures on, and it takes a little while. Like you'll see lightning changing out quite a bit. Now we was throwing everything at them except the kitchen sink. We was using rattle traps, spinner baits, chatter baits, plastics, everything. And they wouldn't hit nothing. Now, the cold front had come through a couple of days before that. And of course, it was also windy. I think the water temperature was probably, I want to say the 70s, but I'll have to double check that. But they wasn't hitting. Now we did see a couple of people fishing. We thought we saw one guy catching one right there. Wasn't sure, but we talked to some and they wasn't catching either. Well, like I said, I thought for sure they'd hit top water. And I tried it. They wasn't hitting that either. Of course, it'd been a little windy. That I really didn't think they would, but I figured I'd try. Of course, I've got a storage for my rod and reels, which I keep extra ones down there too. So I probably got around a total of 10 rod and reels on the boat. And I was looking to see if I packed the kitchen sink because they wasn't hitting anything else. Now, there's a picture of my trolling motor, that Minn Kota. I've got my little Casio camera out, trying it. We're in a no wait zone right now. We had to stop off at a little place to take care of some business, and of course now I didn't get it all the way up as fast as it would go because, you know, it was still windy, still cold. But it looks like it's doing pretty good. Of course, Lightning was pointing out that's where they was camping. Him and his wife Juanita and grandson Corbin. They come up here quite a bit do a little camping. It don't take me that long to get up here, so thought we'd just spend a good day of fishing. Of course, I blew by there because I wanted to run the engine a little bit, and there was a spot right up above here. Pardon my talk, but I wanted to try it out. Of course, I've done a lot to the boat since I've had it. Of course, adding that new trolling motor to it, I call it the old man's trolling motor. But here's my boat. It's set up for night fishing. Like I said, I've done quite a bit to it, which we'll do a video on that, on all the stuff that I've done to it, and the ramping clamp that somebody's asked about that I've put on there. It's real nice, but we'll chat more later.